Thanks for tuning in to Small Steps to Wellbeing, or Small Steps as I often refer to it. If you like what you hear, then check out the channel every so often for a new episode. And if you have any feedback or would like my insight on a specific topic, then reach out and let me know. Please be aware that the information shared in this podcast does not represent definitive health recommendations or advice. So you should consult a professional before making any significant changes to your lifestyle. Hello and welcome to this episode of Small Steps to Wellbeing with me, your host, Stephen Davis from Interactive Therapy. And today's episode is going to focus on seeking support. So everything in our living world requires support in some shape or form in order to not only survive, but to thrive. Now, this support can come from within a related group, be that family members or other members within the same species, but it can also come through the development of symbiosis, in which different species both benefit mutually from a close association. If you take a walk in nature, you'll see how support between and within species can help forests, plant and wildlife to grow and thrive. And this is something that I witness throughout the changing seasons occurring in the country where I live, the Netherlands. But it also happens in all the different climates around the world too. Plant life of all types needs to spread their roots to develop a foundation, as well as to seek adequate nutrition, while extensive fungal networks have been found to aid communication, as well as playing a key part in life cycles of pretty much all plant and animal species over vast distances. This support is intuitive, both given and taken freely. Now, humans also require support, and while practical means of support are commonplace, take, for example, postal networks, food delivery services, or roadside assistance, emotional support is less widespread. No man or woman is an island, as was highlighted in the poem by John Donne. Yet in my experience, it is common enough for people to believe, for any number of reasons, that they are expected to go it alone, and that their emotional needs should not be shared or become a burden for others to carry on their behalf. Ironically, it's often these same people that will happily reschedule their lives in order to help someone else in their community. Perhaps you can relate with this scenario. If not, you likely know someone who may fit the description. That is why, in this small step, I'll be introducing a short exercise that can be followed in order to help those of you who need to both seek, develop, and ultimately maintain your sense of support. In addressing this issue, we'll be starting with how this support can come from yourselves, but other episodes will explore how support can be found in your environment, through those close to you, and other episodes will also explore how support can be found in contact with your community or via networks of professionals like myself, and look to challenge the expectations that say that this is not acceptable. I hope that you find these ideas useful. Self-support is achieved through adaptation of the living object to the environment that it is surrounded by. Adaptation in the natural world can be a slow process. Consider, for example, Darwin's theory of natural selection, in which animal breeds pass on the traits that will benefit their offspring, ensuring this next generation will be able to thrive and continue passing on that selected DNA to future offspring. These changes have and will continue to occur over the centuries, and have only been sped up in the natural world due to intervention of humans. Think also about how the huge trees which may be planted in your local parks use their roots to keep them firmly anchored to the ground. Did you know that trees have a sense of balance? It's called gravitropism, and it helps them to counter weight mass in the exposed part of the tree with the weight of the roots below the ground. Consider how the trees you encounter have had to adapt to recent weather conditions in your area, or how they may have continued to grow after being damaged in the past. Adaptation is necessary in our lives too, and while we adapt as a human species, it is important to develop a sense of autonomy running parallel to our sense of community. As we progress through differing stages of our own life, our adaptation come in the form of developing specific skills. These can include social, technical, conceptual, and communicative skills, and they all contribute at certain times to alterations that we perceive in the values or purpose that become part of our priorities. So how can you offer the best support to yourself, you ask? Well, when you really think about it, the person that spends the most time in your company is, well, you. You may not always be awake to be aware of that companionship, and even when you are awake, there will be times where you're not fully conscious of what your needs are, or even how you perceive the world around you. For this reason, an increase of awareness is the first step to start better supporting yourself. This can be achieved through some simple reflection. Supporting yourself takes many forms, and you may have carried them out from time to time without giving a thought to their significance. Examples could include going to bed when you're tired rather than watching just one more episode, choosing healthy food over fast food, restricting your substance use even when those around you are joining in, going out to exercise rather than sitting on the couch checking your phone, taking a day or two off from your social media channels, taking time off from a friendship that takes more energy than it provides, or saying no to a request from a friend or colleague because you really don't have time to do what they asked. So, on to today's exercise. And in this small step, I'm encouraging that you reflect on the times when you have supported yourself in the past. Think about what has helped you adapt to your surroundings or has aided balance in a challenging time. Can it be used again now, or be saved for the future? You may have only used a self-supporting action once or twice, but not only could reflecting on past success help now, but it could also boost your confidence by reminding you that self-support is possible. Consider major changes you've experienced, such as leaving your childhood home, the start or end of a relationship, moving to a foreign country, changing job, or making new friends. Pick one of these topics or any other that comes to mind. Now write down the answers to the following questions. In what way were you struggling during that experience? How did you respond to the struggle and what actions did you take? Did you need to take one big action or a number of small actions? How did you feel after taking the actions? And are any of the actions transferable to the current situation? Good luck in carrying out this exercise, and I wish you all the best for now. Thanks for listening to Small Steps to Wellbeing. I hope you will be able to make use of the information and exercises in this podcast on your own pathway to wellbeing. Don't forget to come back again soon. Bye for now.